8 different winners in the 2022 Moto 2 World Championship will today see number 9. 3 riders chasing that honour from the front row. Aaron Canet, Fermin Aldeguer and Jake Dixon. Tony Arbolino heads row 2 with Songkjat Chantra alongside and Philip Salach starting 6th. Confirmation at the bottom of your screens. Manuel Gonzalez unfortunately has now withdrawn from this Grand Prix. He was set to take the grid in 29th. It's Jorge Navarro, Cameron Bobier and Kevin Kubo on row 3 with Barry Baltus leading World Championship leader Augusto Fernandez on row 4, a row completed by Alonso Lopez. Ayagura starts 13th for his home Grand Prix ahead of Joe Roberts and Bo Benschneider. Zonta van den Gorberg, who's had an impressive weekend, starts in 16th ahead of Albert Arenas and recent winner Pedro Acosta. Lorenzo Della Porta, a former Moto 3 winner here, starts 19th ahead of Tiger Harder and Marcel Schroeder. Chelsea Vietti needs a miracle really to still win this World Championship from 22nd on the grid ahead of Zacconi and Kelly. It's Antonelli Ramirez and Corsi on row 9 with Jeremy Alcoba 28th and last on the grid.
Warm-up lap then underway here for Moto 2 in the Moto Grand Prix of Japan. You feel like today really has to be the day potentially that Aaron Canet does find his winning touch in this Moto 2 World Championship. 34 points, isn't he? 37 points rather behind Augusto Fernandez in the championship. Time is running out. 5 races remaining. There he is, the 22-year-old Spaniard from Valencia. As Lewis said, there's a bit of a pole curse for Canet in 2022. He was on pole in Portimao. To be fair to me, he was leading that Portuguese Grand Prix, the first phase of the European campaign in 2022, and he crashed out on that rain that started to fall in the first corner. He was back on pole then, wasn't he, in Mugello, and then crashed out of podium contention in the Muccini corner. And that was the day that this man, Celestino Vietti, was on the podium as well, and he had those gear shifter problems. Vietti slipping out of contention, unfortunately. His best result of late, a 4th place in Assen. That was before the result. Motegi. Chantra is the last man then that takes up his position in the middle of that second row in 5th place. Fermin Aldeguer ready to get focused for this 22-lap Moto 2 race here in Japan. We're going to be lights out very shortly, and we are racing in Moto 2 in the Moto Grand Prix of Japan. Really good start from the middle of that front row by Spanish teenager Fermin Aldeguer. He'll have the inside line on pole and Aaron Canet going into the first corner. Aldeguer does make the dream start, though he's in hot in that turn number 1. Turn 2 allows Canet to sweep on back through into the lead. Oh, Chantra was out the seat there, out of turn 2. Good start by Ayagura. He's come through into the top 10 as well. Brilliant start by the man second in the World Championship. Yeah, Augusto Fernandez got a pretty decent launch off the line as well. He was up at least 2 or 3 places off the line, but Ayagura just stormed past him off the line. The Japanese rider, the home favourite from 13th on the grid, looking through the first sector. He's come through it in 7th, up 6 places. Yeah, he was in a danger zone there on the outside of turn number 3. Now he's up the inside now, Jake Dixon. Jake Dixon's had a poor first 5 corners, starting from the front row, the British rider. He's been swallowed up. Dixon down to 6th place through sector 1. We know he's already been picked off for that 6th place by Ayagura into the hard breakings over turn 5. Clear daylight already emerging between the top 2 men. Spain's Canet and Aldeguer. They are a mile clear, nearly a second clear of Chantra in 3rd. Yeah, and Cameron Bobier in 4th. Arbolino's looking to come back at him though, as they now come through this infield section. Look at that big bold move as Dixon loses another couple of places. It was Lopez who took it first, and Philip Salach rode straight through the gap. Yeah, Dixon's getting bashed around here. It's been a real tough start for Dixon. He's up the inside again though of Salach into the hairpin curve. That's turn number 10. Now they'll pick up the throttle, get onto the fat part of the tyre, drive down towards the 90-degree corner through the downhill straight. Canet, the poleman who leads. Aldeguer got the superb launch off the line, briefly led before he got in hot in the first corner. Ayagura's charge has been absolutely sensational on this first lap. We remind you, he started in 13th place at the start of this 22-lap race. Ayagura already up into 5th. And despite what was a pretty good launch off the line, Augusto Fernandez didn't make the progress he'd hoped for into turn 1. He got swallowed up a little bit as it tightens up into turn 1. He's only gained 1 place off the line, up from 11th to 10th. He's just behind the Salach. Some of the fast sectors of this circuit do suit the Boscoscuro chassis, so keep an eye on Lopez. Upperly mobile already. Ayagura then now on the inside of his former great Moto 3 foe, Tony Arbolino. This has been a stunning start to his home Grand Prix for Agura. Now he's up into the top 4. Well, the home crowd are seeing something quite special here, aren't they? From their favourite, from Ayagura. We've seen the flags around the circuit saying go for glory. He's certainly doing that as he gets a little bit wide out of the final corner as Arbolino looks to fight back. But despite
the overtakes. The fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Haighlight, a 1:51.1. The only rider even remotely close to that pace was the leader, Aaron Canet.
A check on his closest championship rival. Championship lead
up behind him as the yellow flags come out here in sector 2, and it's Fermin Aldeguer, who fortunately out of second place. That just adds to Aaron Canet's joy, because he now has a comfortable 1.7 second lead, and it is now the Honda Team Asia duo of Chantra and Agura who are second and third.
Frustration then, and a shake of the head. A drop of the head there for team boss Luka Boscoscura. Look at the massive lead then that's given Aaron Canet. Here comes Agura. He's having a real good fight here between him and Tony Arbolino. They're rubbing shoulders, they're rubbing elbows on the entry and exit of turn number 9. No way through for Agura to retaliate going up the hill into turn number 10. He looked like he was on a bit of a wide line there. He's got some trouble coming behind him now from Alonso Lopez, who's really picking up his speed on the Boscoscura chassis as well.
So the sole hope now for the Boscoscura team is Alonso Lopez, but he's not a bad rider to pin your hopes on, is he? As Agura, once again, we know how good he is on the brakes. He's probably the best rider in the class under braking, but even he couldn't come from that far back to make a move on Tony Arbolino. We'll keep an eye on Somkhat Chantra's pace on this lap. He's been able to put half a second between himself and the battle behind between Arbolino and Agura, with Lopez now joining this battle. He's surely the only rider at this stage who can deny Aaron Canet a first Moto2 victory. Canet sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:51.121, but it was virtually matched by Somkhat Chantra. The lead is one further ahead.
Down. Yellow flags are out in the third sector now. Who have we lost?
Canet.
Aaron Canet has blown it again. Can you believe it? He did this in Austin, didn't he, in Texas? And his pole jinx, his pole curse goes on. Aaron Canet was nearly 2 seconds clear, 1.8 seconds clear of the chasing pack, having been given that big upper hand by the crash of Fermin Aldeguer. So our top two men in this Grand Prix. Aldeguer went down a couple of laps ago at turn 5, and Canet has blown it. And with that crash, has he blown his hopes of winning the Moto2 World Championship this year? We've seen that before. He was leading in that Kota Grand Prix at the start of the season, and Canet goes down with a comfortable lead in this Grand Prix. Into turn 9 he goes, down he goes, and surely that is now championships over. A calamitous day for Canet.
He was already 37 points behind the World Championship leader coming into this Grand Prix. Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, the third time this year.
And at the moment, Fernandez still cannot find a way through on Jake Dixon. He thought about it and tried a lunge on the inside at turn 9 on that last lap, didn't he? Now, what's happened to Chantra? What's happened to Chantra? Chantra's back in third. Something happened to Chantra, either into turn 5 or coming through turn 6, because in the blink of an eye, the race leader on the 35 bike there was dropped down to third place. Lopez and Agura come through. There was obviously a key mistake there made by what was your race leader, Chantra.
Yeah, it's a comfortable lead now of quite a few bike lengths there for Alonso Lopez. We'll hopefully get a look in a moment as Chantra now slots in behind his teammate Agura. You wouldn't expect him to have a go at his teammate just yet. Honda Team Asia would kind of want Chantra to stay there for now and try and protect Agura from the attack of Arbolino further back. Downhill they come once again as they fan out towards turn 4, and Agura is clear of Chantra. Arbolino is running 4th. Dixon and Fernandez are still relatively matching this leading quartet for pace. So although he's still stuck in 6th position, Augusto Fernandez isn't being left any further behind at the moment in the battle for the top 6. So in this battle for crucial World Championship points, he sits in 6th, although of course that shuffling further ahead of him, promoting Agura, now means that as it stands, the champion
by Lopez going into turn number 5. I think he lost the front going in, and then trying to make sure he didn't lose too much time on the way out. He lost the rear as well, a bit of a twitch on the grass rather. So Lopez showing a bit of daylight here now to Agura. Agura now all over the rear tyre of the Spaniard. That was the first mistake we've seen in this Grand Prix from Lopez into turn 5 on lap 11.
Yeah, he's pushing on. He looks a little wide again there as Agura takes the tighter line through turn 9. Very difficult if you make a mistake through that third sector. It's so difficult to get yourself back onto rhythm as Lopez takes that defensive tighter line into turn 10. Will that compromise him out of the corner onto the back straight? Didn't look like he did it, as he got a pretty good drive out of there. Agura unable, as Lopez already starts to hug the inside of the racetrack. He's already thinking of the 79 up behind him.
Yeah, he knows Agura's there. He'll hear him. He'd have seen on his pit board just how close Agura was. Agura can smell kind of a home victory here. A home victory will put him in the lead of this MotoGP World Championship, dependent on how Augusto Fernandez gets on behind him. Still, as it stands right now, with 11 laps to go here in Motegi, we would have a tie for the lead in the World Championship. going to Thailand in just a few days' time. Lopez has regrouped after that double mistake, really, in turn 5 on that lap number 11. You think, don't you, Lopez is going wide in so many of these corners. It's fascinating to see the different riding styles, the different techniques and approach you have to have between the Boscoscura and the Haighlight chassis. The Boscoscura chassis needs much wider lines, wider sweeping lines. He's not going wide, he's just running that wide sweeping line, and that's the difference between that frame and the Haighlights.
We've only just ticked over half distance here in this Grand Prix. Still an awful long way to go, and Augusto Fernandez will be sitting there on the 37 in 4th thinking, I can win this Grand Prix. The way it is at the moment, as you can see once again, the different lines of the Boscoscura of Lopez and the Haighlights of Agura. Has that given Agura a try? He almost looked as if he was going to sneak up the inside there into 6th, but he stays behind. But once again, a 51.1 on the previous lap for Augusto Fernandez. He was half a second quicker than the race leader Alonso Lopez. He's now just 1.2 off the lead, and plenty of time for him to pick his way through this pack, starting with Arbolino.
It's coming right now. It might be here. It is. It was coming. He got that all set up through 6, 7 and 8. Had the much better corner speed than Tony Arbolino. He's out wide though. That's definitely
for Chantra at the back as well.
Chantra has now lost 5th place to Jake Dixon.
He's out the
Dixon
seat.
Sweeps on through. Yeah, I just wonder whether Chantra's got some kind of an issue here, because he's faded so quickly out of the race lead. So that was brilliantly done by Fernandez. He set that up through 6, 7, 8, as we said, on the inside of Tony Arbolino. Now that's changed the picture at the top of the championship. 3 points now, he would be clear of Augusto.
Grip as we head into the second half of this Grand Prix.
We're on board then with Agura now. This is where he's been stronger than Lopez on the brakes into turn 5, and the move is coming. On the inside then goes Agura. The Japanese fans will be loving this, because we have a Japanese rider, a star in the land of the rising sun here under the Japanese sunshine. Agura hits the front for the first time on lap number 13. He started in P13. Lopez though strikes straight back into turn number 8. What a race we've got on here between Lopez and Agura. Don't discount Augusto Fernandez. This is what Fernandez needs, a battle between the top 2 men ahead of him, because this will drag him back into contention. He's certainly got the speed, Fernandez. This is an epic showdown, so much at stake between Fernandez in 3rd, Agura in 2nd place in terms of the World Championship.
Yeah, a lot at stake, as you say, in this Grand Prix, as the riders further back really fade and struggle for grip. Here are the 2 prime examples, Chantra and Arbolino, their relative mistakes. The promoted Jake Dixon now back into 4th. He's just kept it clean in this Grand Prix, not really made a mistake, and his reward at the moment is P4. Is Agura going to strike again as he almost takes the front wheel of Alonso Lopez into turn 11? Agura back in front.
That was aggressive, wasn't it, by Agura? He's like timid, placid fella, isn't he, off the circuit? But when he's on the circuit, when the visor's down, boy, is he aggressive. He's back at the front then here. It's been a dramatic lap 13 here of 22 in Moto 2 in Japan. Twice we've seen the lead exchange between Agura and Lopez. It just looks like at the moment Agura's better on the front end. He's got better brake stability on that Haighlight machine than Lopez. Through the first 2 corners we go then on lap 14. It's Agura that leads his home Grand Prix. Lopez we're looking back to now in 2nd. And now that'll change the championship picture again. It will be down to 2 points if Fernandez stays in 3rd and Agura does indeed take the checkered flag first.
And of course it would be Agura who would move into the lead, 7 points behind, but he gained 9 on Augusto Fernandez at this stage. But there's still an awful lot of racing to go in this. You heard the cheers and the air horns blaring away as Agura crossed the line in the lead for the first time. The Japanese fans have waited 3 years to watch Grand Prix racing in front of them again here at the Mobility Resort Motegi, and it could certainly be worth the wait if they get a home victory here.
There has not been a Japanese rider win at Motegi since Hiroshi Oyama did it 16 years ago, back in 2006 in the 250cc race. Now that here comes Augusto Fernandez. Do you know what? This has got a feeling, and this is going to be a battle, a shootout between the top 2 men late on in this World Championship. Alonso Lopez, of course, will have a big part to play in this race, but it's all brewing up nicely, all bubbling up nicely towards an Agura versus Fernandez battle late on here in Japan. Alonso Lopez defending brilliantly, as he so often has done, into turn 10. No way through for Fernandez. Down the downhill straight with power. 9 laps to go here in that wider line on the inside. Fernandez picked him up. He had to make that move. Again, though, they go side by side, elbow to elbow, knee to knee.
Lopez
running down towards turn 3. Lopez will have the inside line. Nothing Fernandez can do about this. Lopez, though, gets in hard. What a battle this is between the 2 Spaniards. It's now advantage again Fernandez, but this, of course, is all playing into hands of your race leader, Agura. Over the line, he was already 1.2 seconds clear of Lopez. Lopez tries to fight back up. Fernandez now into turn number 5.
I think Lopez is bothered about the World Championship. He doesn't care a jot as he moves one through through once again on Fernandez, but Fernandez looks now as if he does have a few bike lengths of an advantage. He would lose points to Ayagura, but crucially that would preserve a 2-point World Championship lead.
Well, Lopez has done Ayagura a massive favour on the start of this lap 16. In the first sector alone, while Lopez and Fernandez toughed it out in the first two corners. Who's gone down? It's not Ayagura. It's not Ayagura. We can see him still on board. Who has gone down there? Just trying to see on the timing tower if we can spot who has taken a tumble here then in the first two sectors. But in that first sector where Fernandez and Lopez exchanged overtakes in the first two corners,
it's Canet again.
Canet again. Deary me. What an absolutely shocking day it has been for the poleman, Aaron Canet. An instantly forgettable day. It's Calamity Canet, isn't it, today? Into the first corner he goes. Front end tucks out from underneath him. Safe to say, a day to forget, a weekend to forget, certainly a weekend to forget now as well for Mini VR46. That's another D6, that's another DNF coming the way of Nicola Antonelli. Start this final lap, 1.551 seconds over Fernandez.
Some incredible late race pace coming from Pedro Acosta. As you can see, the nerves, they're wearing their hearts on their sleeves at the Honda Team Asia squad as Augusto Fernandez makes them sweat on this final lap. But Fernandez's teammate Pedro Acosta's the fastest rider outside of this leading two. He might yet close in and catch Tony Arbolino for 6th on this final lap of the Grand Prix.
There's Aki Aya, then team manager for Augusto Fernandez, looking on. Time is ticking away. There's no way that Fernandez is going to hunt down Ayagura. It's going to be a massive late capitulation here from Ayagura if Augusto Fernandez is to return to the top step of the podium. More yellow flags out in the first sector. I think it's Jeremy Alcoa that's gone down now, the Spanish teenager. Honda Team Asia, Hiroshi Oyama, they can barely look on, can they? They know the significance of this victory for Ayagura. The man we just saw in your picture there, Hiroshi Oyama, was the last Japanese rider to win at the Japanese Grand Prix here. Can he do it?
Well, he's got a couple more corners to go. This would be the last place where he'd come under any kind of threat, and he's comfortably clear of Augusto Fernandez. The pace from this leading duo has put them on another planet this afternoon. They are the class of the Moto2 field, and they're going to show exactly why here in Motegi.
There's the team view. They look on so anxiously through the last two corners. He's got an eye on a victory here in Japan. He's got an eye on bigger prizes in terms of the Moto2 World Championship, but Ayagura, he's the victor of his home Grand Prix here in Japan. A massive win in terms of the championship. Look at the celebrations down in Honda Team Asia. Ayagura, a Japanese rider, wins the Japanese Grand Prix for the first time in 16 long years. He takes the checker flag 1.1 seconds clear of Augusto Fernandez. The Japanese fans, they are super happy. Brilliant victory by Ayagura. He came